Is just a quick read for Gemini. Sorry guys, I got a little winded on my last one. Just when I get a little too roasting hot, tired outside in the heat, it makes it a little hard for me to do my anyway. So I go off on a tangent. But anyway, let's try to get this one done here for you. So what I'm seeing, again, take it as it resonates. How I do my reads is I'll do some of the main cards, main energies out, and then the rest will be the clarifiers. So we'll get right into it. Again, if it's not your story, it's not your story. We'll just sort of see where things are going at here. Anyway, what we're starting off with is the strength card. So to me, there's something here that's coming through about you having to endure a difficult time. So there is something here about, taming the ego, overcoming an obstacle, having to use your strength in some way to get past something here. I would say that this is based on, certainly something here of an awakening here with the Judgment card. Sorry, that shouldn't have been in reverse. It's just how I picked up the cards that kind of fell off to the side here. But I feel like there's something that you're striving to balance out here. And again, it does feel like there is something that has been, something hasn't really come about. It didn't, and I feel like you consider it to be wish fulfillment in some way. It does feel like it feels like there's a little bit of an enduring quality that you've had to, get past and able to, and it's almost like there's a realization that comes with it, because the Judgment card is the accumulation of lessons. It's things that, you would share or impart, or spiritual awakening. It's hidden knowledge, it's enlightenment, it's truth, it's those things. So it's almost like you are, kind of releasing the past and trying to look toward this fresh start. And you're taking responsibility. You're going to stop the blaming of others, that kind of thing. Because the Nine of Cups is, you really want something and you really want it. It would make you happy, whatever this is. And it just feels like you're ready for it. So it's like the dream is about to unfold in some way. That would be more positive for you going forward. But anyway, let's keep going here, because the Nine of Cups, as I said, is a wish fulfillment card. So it's something that is, in my mind, because it's right next to the Judgment, the Strength card with the Judgment and the Nine of Cups, that kind of combination really kind of speaks to, something that you feel very deeply about. And again, there's some kind of spiritual awakening. Again, it's emotional fulfillment that's also here. But it's almost like you are in a pivotal moment, something that you're transforming. It's your soul is being called to kind of rise above a past struggle and align with a higher truth. So that you have more joy or more peace in your life. And then there's this deep self-realization that you're also going through. So it's some kind of inner discipline, but you're capable of achieving this true satisfaction, and this wholeness. You're capable of getting there, because when we add the Seven of Wands, this is an indicator that it's really you persevering and ending up on the how do I say, ending up on the side of a more protective, assertive stance. I don't know, it's kind of like a resistance card, but you're still at a threshold here with this card. So you're defending your inner peace, your choices, your truth, or whatever you think is important, your belief, your value systems. But there's something here about external pressure, with some inner sabotage, something along that line. But there is still a self-control element here that's coming through very strongly with emotional discipline. So it's like you have to tame the fears and be gentle with the parts of you that want to kind of run and hide. But you still have to rely on that inner compass and be resilient here. So again, we've got the Judgment. So there's something here of an awakening in this month for you in June. It's not about punishment, it's about liberation. So you're choosing the path of the soul, and this is where you'll find this deep satisfaction. So it's not trying to control the outcome. It's about kind of finding a way to live with integrity, and align that, to the things that you want in your life. So it's not surface happiness, but it's contentment that's really rooted in earned growth. And I feel like there's something here about you've made some progress and now you have to defend it. But there's also, representing that inner resistance of, maybe this is you with a self-talk and not wanting to say that, believe that you're worthy on some level. So there is something here about you're catastrophizing, saying, but you have to challenge those thoughts, because that's more of a distress signal, and you're emotionally triggering yourself. So, you have to remind yourself, I've fought hard for this thing or this clarity or this wish fulfillment, and I can handle this moment. I can find resources. I can balance it out. It's things about, your values here are under pressure as well. So internally, externally, I feel like you feel challenged, and you're maybe not wanting to see the reactive thoughts and the self-doubt, as it's mental noise. It's not truth, it's mental noise. So it's keeping you from taking committed action and finding joy in a life of values, of your values. So Edgar Cayce would say, when the soul awakens, the world will resist, not as punishment, to test your sincerity. So stand gently in your strength. Protect the light that is now growing within. So this is a test of your spiritual integrity. Will you do the right thing? It's kind of an inner warfare, and it's something about, now that you've been awakened with the Judgment card and you've chosen peace, now you have to protect your joy in a sacred sort of way. So that's what I would say of that combination of cards. Now, the Magician, the Five of Cups, the High Priestess, the Knight of Wands, the Empress, the Ten of Wands, the Devil, the Three of Wands, the King of Swords, the Queen of Wands, the King of Pentacles. So this combination is a little bit mixed, but the Magician is the card of, I've got all the tools, I've got the capability, I know what I can do, what I'm capable of, but it's more narrative, something like that. So I feel like overall there's some kind of metamorphosis taking place here. You're learning to turn pain into power, confusion into clarity, chaos into something creative. But you have to pass through this fire first, and it's the shadow to arrive fully in, a place of authority, or back where things are balanced again. So there's something here again about the awakening of power through loss, and I do feel like, we're not born of perfection, as they say. We're born of, from pain. So, because of that Five of Cups energy did come out here. And of course, that is, feeling regret or emotional heaviness. And then the Magician says, what will you do with what remains? The things that didn't work out are gone. And now what will you do with what remains? So the next card out is the High Priestess. That's following your intuition, getting, but it's also right next to the Knight of Wands. So there's something there about intuition versus impulsivity. There's an inner tension. Be still, be quiet and wise, or be bold, reactive, and charge ahead. So you're kind of balancing out, or trying to figure out a balance between these urges of listening and surrendering. Action, passion, forward, motion, versus waiting, listening, and surrendering. So the lesson here is really to integrate your intuition with your action. So slow it down, trust the intuitive hits on things instead of just acting. Now, we also had the card of the Empress, so there's something there about creative abundance versus overburden. And I say that because that's with the Ten of Wands. So, there might have been mother figure here as well, Libra energy, that could be also coming in. But there's something here about taking too much on, or neglecting your own needs, or trying to carry it all. But there's almost a blockage here that is letting go of what's not yours to carry, but also creative energy about allowing rest and support. Now we get to the Devil card. This is about bondage, addiction, control, unhealthy patterns, fear, all of those things. This is about right next to the Three of Wands. So something that you've wanted to go forward with, it's now kind of chained you in some way. It didn't go forward and in the way that you had hoped. There's something about I can't. It's a distortion. It's not the truth. So there is something here with the King of Swords where you start to see more clearly in this month, but you're doing it now from a logical place. You're slowing things down. You're creating more strategies. This is more about telling the truth. This is more about, as well, a personal magnetism coming back, whether it's you or someone else. But there's creativity, there's presence, there's leadership, there's more ideas coming through. It's a wise mind and a passionate heart that are starting to work together. So whether it's you or another person, but it's acting from what's fair, and what's, important to you, and it's being wise. Now, the last card out with the King of Pentacles is also about money. So this is about grounded legacies, is long-term money. It's not just wealth, but it's mature use of the resources. So it's like you're meant to own your worth and create something sustainable here, emotionally, financially, creatively. But it's almost like the lesson was that was impacted. So I feel like your losses and regrets are not the end. It's something around the material things. But I feel like you're being asked to slow it down and be more resourceful and take your time to choose the vision instead of the indulgences. Something kind of threw you off guard. Something didn't go as planned. It's a test of your will. So it's almost like you need to act with integrity. You need to act from a place of truth. I think something was done in haste that should have been done in a more slow, methodical way. But either way, I feel like something is being restored here as far as, I might just ask a couple more questions on this one. So what is coming in for the finances in the month of June? What is coming in for the finances in the month of June? Ten of Pentacles, something about legacy with the Four of Pentacles, bottom of deck, Queen of Swords. You might be getting communication about something that's related around legacy money. So Ten of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles, Queen of Swords around your finances. Like I said, this is good money. This is, it looks like something is coming through here. It's practical, and it feels like you're establishing something. Whether it actually comes through entirely, it might be actually that it is coming through in June because of the Ten of Pentacles with the Four of Pentacles right there. But there's almost like there is a refocus here around the money and to ensure long-term success. There is definitely abundance that will build up over time, family, money, investments, generational stability, that kind of thing. But I feel like you're stepping into a phase where you will be able to start thinking bigger, but more long-term, not quick fixes. And I think that you fear loss now because of the situation, the Four of Pentacles. So you're holding things back. You've got a hoarding mentality. There's something here that fear is driving your decisions. But you are being asked to think rationally, logically about the money and the distortions. And I think your ideas around it are, I always mess up with money. I don't deserve wealth. And this is where you need to start replacing it with, I can learn to manage my resources wisely. Wisdom is your wealth. Yeah, but I would say that is what's coming through on that basis. Let's see what's going on. What are the highlights? What are the good things? What are the good things coming in for Gemini? What are the good things coming in for Gemini? The good things coming in for Gemini in the month of... What's the Sun? The Chariot. Four of Swords. Okay, so for some of you, maybe it's a car or something around a car, but there is also a Four of Swords energy, so that could be an issue. Let's see here. Okay, so the good things coming in for you this month: the Sun, the Chariot, the Four of Swords. Timeline would probably be, because the Sun is out here, it is the optimistic card, and of course it is about you being shown a very specific positive thing or uplifting thing that is, it's like a victory after the rest, you know, clarity after confusion. It's something like that. So the good thing that's coming in here is that there is going to be healing, there's clarity, there's forward motions and or movement, and definitely some kind of personal triumph of sorts with the Chariot. So I'd say June 8th to the 15th is more about healing and rest and recovery, you know, stepping back a little bit to kind of recalibrate and emotionally and mentally, that kind of thing. But I feel like what's brewing in the background here is, you know, you're getting clear on what's happening behind the scenes. So there's some spaces being made for some kind of a breakthrough with the Chariot, and that's probably June 16th to 24th range. Momentum, determination, breakthrough, success. A big major shift is coming in motivate things. So there's some kind of action steps that you like, whether this is helping you to see a career or direction, but it's the ability to balance the inner conflict of your mind and the past versus the future. And I feel like this is where you're starting to align your values. No more overthinking, because this is more focused action. And now you have your purpose. You're back on purpose in the month of June. So again, the sun is is the biggest highlight card. So this is really where there's going to be some joy, some success, some confidence building. It's your reward period. But I feel like what's arriving is going to be something of a breakthrough, possibly in a relationship here as well. For swords, it's like you can rest easily now. There's a period of ease and an emotional openness of some sort, you know. But I do feel like overall, you feel like you can set some goals again, you know, or move forward in some way. So I feel like you're moving from stillness into purpose, purpose into joy. You're getting clear, and then there's discipline, and that fuels you to gain this reward. So anyways, things are working out for you, especially when I see the Fool at the bottom of the deck, something that you're really concerned about as well with the Nine of Swords. But overall, I feel like Fool at the bottom of the deck, that's your new start. That's where things feel more hopeful, a new beginning. And it just feels like a reboot to your life path. So there's definitely a new chapter opening up for you that you can step forward in. So I do feel like you're going to find more growth in the month of June. Either way, it's looking pretty good. That's what I'm going to leave it at for this month for you, Gemini. I'll do another one here. I'm just sort of out and about and burning up from all the heat that was happening today. So you guys stay well and see you in the next read. Keep moving forward.